Welcome back. I'm working with a new broker in Seabrook, and today I'm making the 4-hour drive to tour a handful of boats that fit my criteria, but not before stepping on a couple brand new yachts just to see what it would be like if money wasn't a barrier. Join me today as I continue my search for my next boat. All right, let's go. I drove in last night and was up early the next morning for the 10 a.m. appointment. Rather than sit in the hotel, I decided to walk the docks in the Westgate Yachting Center Marina, and I stumbled upon most of the boats that I was scheduled to look at. This section of the marina is flush with large catamarans, and I was walking around dreaming about the day that I might have one too. I feel like I've seen this boat on their site, I just don't remember the price. I don't usually see a lot of Fontaine Pajots for sale, but I've seen several just on this one dock alone. Actually, I probably don't see them because I set maximum price limits on my searches, so yeah, there's that reason. Small world, look what boat I just saw. This is JEANNEAU. We took a look at this boat in Rockport, fell in love with it. Wasn't able to get it financed because it is a 1999 and nobody wants to finance a boat that is 26 years old. So I had heard that they had found a buyer. I don't know if they just moved it here. I'm at little yacht sales, so I don't know if they just moved it over here to have them help them sell it, or if they actually found a buyer and this is where he has it stored. I don't know. Still a really nice boat. This is the newest boat that I've been really interested in. It is a 2005 Sun Odyssey 35, and it checks a lot of the boxes that I'm looking for. Oh, and if I hadn't said already, I'm in Kemah, Texas, actually Seabrook. And this is listed with little yacht sales. I have a broker that works through Murray Yachts. He's going to actually show it to me a little bit later. I'm here early, just walking the docks, and stumbled upon it. I've studied this boat so much, I knew it right away when I saw it. But yeah, I'm gonna walk around, just take a look at it, and get a preliminary idea. It's got all new canvas. Got new bimini, new sail pack. I think they said they just redid the UV cover on the head sail. Running rigging, like if you look right here, that looks good. She's dirty, she needs a bath, but that's the least of my problems. Got a little bit of solar, but I think it still has lead acid batteries if I'm not mistaken. I'm out here in this marina, and there's a lot of large cats in the 42 to 45 foot range, so this 35 foot monohull looks tiny compared to all the others. That barrel on the, the drum on the roller furler looks small for some reason. I don't know why, it just seems small. But I've gotten where I've really drawn to these JEANNEAUs, specifically the Sun Odysseys. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the boat has a list to the port side. I don't know why that is, and it's, when you stand here in the back, it's significant. That's alarming. Either they've got it loaded with weight here on the port side, or there's a leak. I don't know, there's a handful of things that could cause this, but it'd be interesting to see what the broker says. I like this clear companionway doors a lot more than wood or non-transparent. So you can actually see in there, and you can also, if you're on the inside, you can see out. There's little things I like that JEANNEAU seems to do well. And this could be an add-on from later on, but these little hangers here. Now they might catch on other things and they're rigid. Yeah, they're just glued on. Clutches look like they're in good shape. I tend to find a bunch of them broken for some reason. But without a doubt, this canvas is really sharp looking, all brand new. Like I said, she's quite dirty. Oh, the only thing about these smaller boats is having to duck down for that bimini. Yeah, we're gonna probably want to take a closer look at that. If I'm not mistaken, it said it has a electric windlass. Yeah, not a very big one, but there's one. So I don't know. I don't see anything that screams to me that I love it or I don't like it. It's just kind of another boat. This list to the port side is concerning, and there's just little things you'd want to clean up. You know, like this wiring and zip ties everywhere for just a few speakers. There's too much Bluetooth technology to have that. I guess some of that is the solar. Quick, easy fix to just zip tie it to the tubing there when they could have run it inside some conduit to protect it. And I say that because look at this cable right here. You see, it wouldn't be hard for it to imagine a fail point in the very near future. I don't know. Their asking price is about $75, I think, on this, which I still think is okay. I've struggled with this one when I looked at it online because the JD Power value for it is between 60 and 64 with all the accessories or options. So it's overpriced when you look at it from the JD Power standpoint. And I do think if I saw this on the market for 60, I'd be a lot more excited about it. So maybe that's kind of, if I do end up liking it, the tour, maybe I'll take a closer look and see what that is. But that's a big drop from where he's asking. There's a couple of these Oceanus. I really like this model with the open transom that folds down. And this one here has this like gunmetal gray side, just absolutely beautiful. It's just paint. I need to be looking at stuff more critical to the boat, but I will say that it stands out amongst all this other white plastic.
Shortly after making the comment about white plastic, I came across a few older boats with stunning woodwork. Hats off to the owners who tirelessly maintain their classic boats, because that is truly a labor of love.
If you had 800,000, that's what you could get. Matter of fact, I think it's closer to 900, but that's what a new XS14, yeah, that's what it says, XS14. I was talking to somebody else here on the marina, and they said that they thought it was going for about $869, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of boat. Good morning. If you watch my channel for very long at all, you'll know that I had a less than desirable experience with a broker in Corpus Christi. So I am today in Seabrook, and I'm working with a new broker with Murray Yachts. So this is their little office here. You can't see it from this side, but that's their office. I'm here early to meet the broker to take a look at a handful of boats, and it's amazing the experience that I've had. He's communicating really well. He's showing me boats. He's actually listening to what some of my interests are and what kind of boat that I want and versus what I need. He walks me through the good and the bad. When I take a look at their listings, they don't have just 10 or 15 photos. I think a couple of the boats that I'm looking at, they have 60 to 70 pictures, and they highlight some of the issues with the boat. And I like that because it's just kind of putting it forward, and and if you know that up front, you know what you're looking at. Especially for me, somebody like me that's driving 4 hours to come take a look at these boats. So again, like I said, I'm about 20 minutes early. Actually, I got here a couple hours early. I've been walking the docks for probably the last 2 hours. I've already spotted a couple of them that I know that we're going to be looking at. And because I've looked at the pictures and I've been online so much that I know exactly what they look like and where they're at. So yeah, I took a look at them. One of them's got an issue we'll talk about here in a little bit when we get to the boat. It's got a little bit of a list to the port side, and I keep catching the sound of the bilge turning on. So right now I'm noticing a lot of these boats, I guess this is their slip for all their boats that they have on sale. So I'm going to take a closer look and see if any of these fit my parameters. I wish they had, you know, more information on the little sheets where it shows for sale, because I'd like to know the year, the make and model, and actually the price. And so that would slow me down on my looking, because there's some of them I assume that are going to be outside my price range, or they have features that I don't know, but I don't without pulling up the website and looking it up, which can take several minutes, and there's literally thousands of boats out here. All right, so I'll get back when the broker and I are together looking at the boats and try to film as much as I can. Like a lot of the other videos, I haven't talked to him to make sure he's okay with recording, so I need to have that conversation, and hopefully he's okay with me catching some footage so I can share this journey with you. All right, see you soon. Well, wait, look, first off, I got to show this little thing. This is wild, and it's actually in really, really good shape. The camera doesn't always show it, but this is, I don't know, it's kind of funny looking, but it's really cool. I don't even know what it is. What a fun little boat to have for parades and just play around in the water. And actually it's, you know, a fairly large boat. This got to be at least 30 foot, but in perfect condition. It just looks like a little toy that you had as a child. All right, let me try again. I'll see you guys shortly. Well, looky there. It's another JEANNEAU 235 first. This is my exact boat. No difference. That's interesting. I want to talk to the broker and see what we can do to promote my boat and hopefully get it sold soon so that I'm not caught paying for 2 marina slips in the near future. Big money will buy you a big boat. I have no idea what this is listed for, but it's a massive boat. Let's see, 51 foot. Wow. Just comparing it to the other boats out here, it's massive. But look how the area that it needs to slip out of. Well, they must I don't even know how they do it. I guess they would go forward and then reverse through this area. That's the width of this boat is this section right here. So boy, they have to be careful. That cannot be fun, especially if you had any amount of wind. But what a beautiful boat. Wow. Needs a hard top. There's going to be a lot of sun there on that deck. Well, the interior of this thing's probably as big as my entire house. So taking a look at a JEANNEAU 393. First thing I see is some really thin gel coat here on the top side. So we need some top side paint or something to cover that up so you don't have any UV damage. Got a sugar scoop on the back end here. Looks like it's been pretty well taken care of.
This is a really nice boat.
Yeah.
The mast, the last owner, because I helped these guys buy it.
So we got an in-mast furling.
Yeah. The mast had water intrusion, and it cracked during a freeze.
Yeah.
And so, just 2 years ago, this got a brand new mast and standing rigging.
Wow.
Found an opportunity for it to collect in there. I had to drill a weep hole in the bottom of my mast. All the wires go
Take a look
through,
at some of the electronics
and
here.
if the water went above the PVC, then it's just pouring water on your head in the bed. Okay. So I had to drill a weep hole to stop it from collecting like that.
So it looks like it has below deck autopilot.
Yeah.
Got a little electronics here. All right, here's the starboard side. We have navigation station. Fair amount of storage. This is nice. Even some decent counter space here, where that would normally only be probably about 8 to 10 inches. This is a full, like probably 14 inches over here and about 20 inches here. So you actually could do some stuff. If maybe we can, with this bench, you could work on a computer or something.
Yeah, so that's usually it has an option for a what do you call it? Love seat or this cabinetry.
Yeah. Well, the woodwork looks good in here. But this year I was expecting it to look a little more weathered. Here's a little small hanging locker. Yeah, for sure.
So
Got
this
a
tabletop here.
wet head over here. Here's the actor.
143 hours.
Wow.
It's been a
Has it been repowered?
no. It's been a Clear Lake boat all its life.
Yeah.
We're 15 minutes from sailing.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like Corpus Christi Marina.
Yeah.
You know, people don't get a lot of hours on their engines there or here because unless they're gonna take off cruising somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you start going up and down the ICW, you spend a lot of engine hours, but not everybody goes anywhere.
Right.
A lot of people use them as day sailors.
No, got some hidden storage back over here. Like that huge bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want it to be your master.
Squeaky soul. Alright, we finally got a view of the kill bolts here. They're all in really good shape. We just put up another panel and they look similar. They got good backing plates. The heads are nice and clean. And that speaks volumes because there's a little bit of moisture down there. So you would expect that had a tiny bit more corrosion with the nose. So that means that fluid's probably fairly new.
The air conditioner's right there.
Oh yeah. And they're both, looks like they're both wet heads, I guess. Yeah. Oh, it's a tight panel. Okay.
That's the difference with the 373.
Ooh.
The head is much bigger.
Yeah.
There's only one head.
Yeah. And that's kind of our preference, you know, because I just don't need beds and heads, you know, like give me a separate shower. And we've even thought about that. Like I don't.
Go to the Lamborghini dealership. You got to go in them all.
Just to see how the other half lives, we're gonna step foot on the 51 here. He's gonna give me a little, let me take a look at it. So when I see these boats out in the anchorage, I know what the inside looks like a little better.
Out there, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Wow, this is insane. It's even got the new car sale.
It's on Landry.
Uh-huh.
What's the current owner of the Cowboys?
I don't watch ball sports, so.
Yeah, but he, his yacht went by my friend's boat. Willie's an anchor over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this headroom that they kind of carry all the way across the beam is what really makes this place feel huge. Kind of, well, it's called like an island bed or something like that.
Yeah, island berth.
Berth, there you go.
Got the shower on this side.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
And then you've got the head on the other side, two separate
See, that's what
berths.
we envision. If it has multiple heads, converting one like that. But then again, I'd spend so much money doing that.
Yeah.
Then just find the boat that you like.
Somebody else might just want canvas that they can take down quickly.
Yeah. He's actually explaining to me about, you know, the customization of doing a hardtop or bimini on the back end. It makes a lot of sense. They don't put that because then you're committed to it. Let the owner figure out what they want, and then they have more of a custom boat. But look at this thing, nice flat. What is this called? What are the sides here called?
Oh,
I don't know, whatever, you know, the deck. There's always some term that I use wrong, but
yeah.
well, hey, thanks for letting me look around. Look at the size of that power cord. Holy shit, there's a lot of power coming on this boat.
Yeah. Instead of two 110s, it's one 250.
Hey, thanks for letting me look at that.
Yeah.
Same thing. We're going to take a look at an Excess, which is one of his newer boats that he has here. Catamaran. Look at the size of this. Wow. Mirror on both sides.
And for reference, pretty much the same price as the 51-1, so it's a good example of the difference between a cat and a mono at the same price point.
Wow, look at that. And it doesn't hurt that two of my favorite colors are gray and orange. Like, literally, those are the two colors. This boat.
My Aggie friend can't get his mind right.
Well, my undergrad was from A&M system in grad school. I went to where I could afford, and grad school was UT. Cool. I did what I could afford.
You can deal with it.
I didn't want a bunch of student debt, and I was going to pay off. God, I see what you're saying about this area here is so much bigger. Wow.
So this is where the generator lives.
Mm-hmm.
But the startup procedures at the chart table there.
There's the generator. And that's a big name.
Yeah.
You get a lot of them we see, and they're all, Northern Star or something like that. Which
Northern
is,
Lights is a good
Northern
one.
Lights. That's what I meant. And they're common, you know, but
yeah, Cummins Own In is one of the biggest brands.
yeah, for sure. Wow. Got a bowsprit out there.
Yeah,
So you can run like, you know.
Reach your sail and an asymmetric spinnaker for this.
Yeah.
And
You can do a lot of light wind.
Really boogies.
I bet.
And I'll fly that screecher up to 20 knots.
Huh.
Just keep going faster.
Jeez. This is the dream here. Look how far that's raked back. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And is that kind of specific to cats? Because I've been on a couple. I saw a lagoon and it was raked even further. I was like, wow, that's all.
Yeah, and the leopards do that a bit, but you know, in the pre-bend already in it. But a lot of the like monohull race boats, they have fractional rigs, and you adjust that yourself.
Yeah.
On the monohulls.
Like even they built the handrail and the rope bag in here. Like how smart is that? These little bitty things that matter.
Oh yeah.
Power winches.
Yeah, I can run the whole boat from right here.
Look at this.
The only thing I need to go to that side to rig is I got to pull up the spinnaker halyard over on the other side. Everything else is on the star.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to send me about 800K? I'll cover the rest of it, and this could be the next boat. Wow. Okay, you want to know which one speaks to me? Here we go.
So this is the guest side you're heading into.
Okay. This is the. If you didn't hear them, it's the guest cabin. We got storage along the way here. I've got my glasses on. I'm gonna have to take them off because I can't see. Wow. Like motion censored lights. So that actually probably.
That was my finger.
Oh, okay. It was exactly when I walked in. Okay. Wow, look at this. Jeez. Very cool. This boat looks a lot smaller on the outside than it is. I wasn't expecting to have this feel.
Yeah.
And so here's the owner's side.
It's the master side.
Nice little work area. So my wife works from home, and we look for an area that either we can convert or to have like this, because she really don't plan on stop working anytime soon.
Yeah, my wife would work from
So and she's been with them for 32 years, and we're talking about 5 years from now, and she's still like, well, you know, I could always look at that.
Off.
That was the door, and you still have some.
So you can have some privacy to work. Close that off.
Just
This
the
really-
engineering.
And this really shows well at the boat show because it's so noisy. The boat show, when you close that, it gets quiet.
Yes. So.
So actually, you can see here, this is huge storage here too. It's a big closet there. But on this model, when you go forward, it's got some storage there too. It's not as big. But forward, it's a fill walk-in closet up there, or a bunk room.
Look at there,
So it's
a walk-in
convertible.
closet. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of having a huge head and shower up forward,
Yeah.
they went with a medium-sized head and shower and more storage.
You know, I've expressed it. I don't know what I don't know,
Yeah.
but this is what we already recognize that where our pain points would be, and this boat addresses. Like, man, I hate to
On
say.
that delivery, my daughter and I shared this room. The cushions come down, and this becomes 2 bunks. So the
I mean, look at this wraparound storage.
Yeah.
You know, high level, you can see it there. Wow, kind of a lagoon killer here.
well, lagoons still have their client base.
This sounds random, but just the textile of this, like it's grippy, but it's a smooth, nice surface. It's nice and clean, but I feel like it just really hold on to it, and it's just cool.
Because when you turn this one, it turns that one too.
Right.
So if they're both heavy, you actually have, it doesn't feel as nice.
Yeah.
So lighter.
Wow.
Not because it makes.
There's nothing I would change about this boat. You know, this first view, it's just. They've thought of a lot of stuff on here. Sorry, I got that fan here running. Oh, I don't have the mic on, so it's probably not picking up my audio very well. But
How you doing?
all right, so I didn't get some footage as we walked up, but we're on a Lagoon 220. Oh, I'm sorry, a Leopard 2004.
2006 Leopard.
No,
40.
oh, it's even newer. Look at that. So here we have Tower in the Box. So you see that on a lot of these catamarans, but also we have some dinghy. Whatever. I can't think this morning.
I printed out the paperwork
Yeah.
for a bunch of these that you'll take with you.
Uh-huh.
And this talks about all the, how much wattage is solar and all
Yeah.
that. It's not on the boat yet,
Yeah.
but it's all listed on the list.
Yeah. So he had mentioned that this may be one of those motivated sellers. You know, you never know until you actually give them an offer and they got a decision to make at that point. But that's what, you know, my high priority is. One of them is to get a deal, because if, you know, if something, life happens and I don't want to be stuck with it, you know, and then I'm changing my life decisions because I have a boat that is dictating how I live. But no, this is got a bigger feel than it certainly looks on the pictures.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. But this is the 4 cabin.
Yeah, we'll take a, let's take a look.
But you can use the extra cabin for storage. So.
Woo! All right, so now we're walking in, and I don't know if you could hear from the audio out here, but he said this is a 4 cabin version, so it's probably gonna be mirrored on either side. This is not a bad feel. It's clean for this year.
And this is kind of cool.
Yeah, I always love that. Yeah, we were just looking at a 380 that was, it had a little piece of board there. Then, so it was just a little small piece like this that came out here, but it flipped over so that, you know, you could serve drinks and play. So, you know, if somebody's out here and they don't have to actually come in, do something. Yeah, those little things are cool.
And this has pretty good refrigeration. If we're going to look at that 380, 38-foot lagoon, notice wraparound galley.
Okay.
Notice the 2 refrigerators. And this space, to me, feels bigger than the 38's main salon.
Yeah.
This one does have more little wet spots.
Yeah, I
But
see that. That's what I was
on-
just looking at.
I was on board with a surveyor for another customer. Not a survey. They just brought their surveyor to look it over. And he said none of that looks structural. He was tapping away at it.
She's done some racing.
Yeah, the horse moved over.
Yeah. So she's a very capable boat.
But yeah, the surveyor didn't have any major concerns on any of that. He really
Okay.
liked the boat.
All right.
Yeah, you don't have the island berths.
Yeah, and that's quite all right. I think, you know, I mean, the island berths, they look nice, but I don't know, you know, that.
Yeah, you just have to climb up into it.
Keep us young.
This side's going to be very similar.
Yeah. Indeed it is.
For some reason, the starboard side just seems like where I would sleep. Don't know why.
Here's some more stuff that, you know, he said that it was just recently surveyed and they didn't find anything structural, but like you do see some
There's some
stuff
water
that needs to be,
damage.
yeah.
He said that the water damage was mostly cosmetic. He couldn't find anything that looked structural on the water.
Yeah.
But there's been some leaks on this boat at some time. We don't know if they're active. I did not come to this boat the other day after that rainstorm. So.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing I'm seeing is just the heads and shower situation on this one. They are really small, and you know, I guess they don't have to be big, but and some of the other boats we're looking at, that's kind of a difference. And if I converted one of the little berths in there, you know, you can just do storage, make a little garage or whatever.
Most people, even on a 3-cabin boat, the forward berth in the 3rd cabin, and I would.
Features he was talking about, like the little rails there, little fiddles to hold that cooler in. It's a clean boat.
Yeah, it feels newer than the.
Got your window to see your sails.
They took good care of it.
Yeah. And some kind of repair done there. All right, we're back on the JEANNEAU 35 Sun Odyssey, and so now we get a look on the inside. Earlier we were out here and walked around the outside, being respectful of it. We just had a conversation about the little list that I noticed on the left side, which is really unfortunate. We just walked off a excess cabin array in 14 and now onto this, so I almost claustrophobic, but no, it's nice. Yeah, the pictures make it look a little bigger than it is. So you'd want to convert this to storage because you're really not sleeping up here, not as a couple. You got a little bit of liner damage here, but you know what I would expect. These boats are, you know, this one particular is 20 years old, so you know, if you want something new, buy new. So this is an interesting layout. I've seen a bunch of the Sun Odysseys, and I don't normally see this U in here. Usually there's a short, and this is expanded because they have a bigger kitchen on it.
Different models.
Yeah, I guess so. Got a nice wet head. It's a little bigger, which is interesting. We were just on a. Where were we just on? The
393.
no, the The leopard. And
catamaran.
yeah, and the catamaran, the heads were smaller than this.
Yeah.
So that's
Like I said, the 373 is going to have the biggest head.
yeah.
Surprising.
And we haven't seen that yet, right?
Now, that's going to be
So
the
yeah. So yeah. Here's that same liner issue here. We had to fix that. Boy, it's kind of funky looking. So we're taking a look at the bilge here. And we got some funky looking keel boats, but they could be cleaned up. I don't think it's. Yeah, yeah. So the backing plates are fine, but the bolts. So you heard that little vibrate? You know what I thought was. Yeah. So I had noticed that earlier, and that was alarming to me when I heard it, because I walked by this boat about 3 different times looking at other stuff, and every time I'd walk by or be in the area, I'd hear that bilge turn on. So I
would 100% expect it to check it out.
Yeah.
There could be an active leak, but it didn't run for very long.
No, it's just a few seconds.
Yeah. So my thought is that's a check valve problem.
Okay. Yeah, because we're not seeing any excessive water here. This part.
I don't like to gloss over things that could be major issues.
Yeah.
So my statements are it's probably this. It needs to be it needs to be analyzed.
Sure.
That's why we do surveys.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
All right.
I'm not familiar with what we got going on here.
This is a refrigerator. This is really cool. That's one of the things I like.
Drawer.
So you can see the wood that they've redone this.
Drawer.
But watch this. This is your freezer. I think that's fucking ingenious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, this is very custom.
because you don't have a lot of space over here.
Yeah, none of this is factory.
No, for sure. And you can tell by the color. I think that was the kind of the giveaway on it. So talked about a bunch of electronics on this one. A lot of stuff I don't even know what it is. But yeah, so this is mirrored up top or down here.
Yeah.
I just looked at the listing. I'd had to go look it up,
Yeah.
and it's not all that significant.
Music
But no, I'm just,
system.
as he said, just kind of getting a feel for, you know, how does this boat feel? It's small, and it's a big boat. You know, when I look at my boat, fits inside of this one.
Oh, right.
So, but you know,
So
and
this
it's not fair because we were just looking at.
refrigerator, doesn't seem to have the freezer. That's why they did that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
There's just an ice box.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is really interesting that it looks so much bigger in the photos, because I've looked at a 39i, same realm, and it is bigger.
Oh, so, I mean, 3 feet in this size range?
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
Could I go and run between Corpus and say Kima and stuff on this? Absolutely.
You could run to Key West and back.
Absolutely.
They're
But
offshore boats.
yeah. So taking a little bit of advice from the broker, this is the prime example. When I looked at this online, I did all my research on the model, the make, the engine, the electronics, a lot of things, and I was ready. I got an approval letter. I got an approval letter for this specific boat. Like, hey, let's move forward. I don't know. It's not an expensive boat, but it's not a cheap boat either. Now, at the right price, everything gets more attractive, but what he told me is to just take a look and how does it feel? Does it feel like a boat that you would be excited to own? And I'm not feeling a wow factor with this one. Is it nice and would I like to have it over what I have? Absolutely. But this is 100% an intermediate boat. Like, I know there's another boat in the next 5 years.
I wonder why we had these posts at the helm.
Yeah.
Is to hold up.
Oh
this
yeah.
big solar.
Yeah, we were taking a look at the solar. So, and that's what I'm saying. It has a lot of things that I really like. I don't like this, that you have to, if you're kind of rolling around and you got a little small area that you have to navigate this. And if you're doing that when it's heeled over or something, that's just
But I think what they've given you is a bimini that goes all the way to the sides. So
I was asking him what these bolts are here, and see if he just kind of something he might know. But you got an eye bolt.
Here, so I'm not going to see it.
Yeah,
Here.
that's okay.
Yeah, something's mounted in there.
Yeah, and it's aggressively mounted too, because those are some fairly beefy bolts. Anyways, just curious.
Yeah.
Trying to learn. Keep forgetting to turn on as we walk up one of these boats, but we're on another. Yeah, we're back on another Lagoon 380. So this is an older version of what we looked at before. I'll tell you one of the things I first noticed. So remember in my last video, I talked about this table right here. The other one had a huge table and it closed off this area. And I said, why not have a smaller table? And like, this looks so much bigger than the other 380 I saw. Because if you wanted to be in that back corner over here, you'd have to just kind of wedge yourself to get back there. But I don't see a lot of difference in them, you know, and there's,
This one's in good condition.
yeah, it is. It's in really good shape. But you know, from the year models, I think this is just the earlier one because they don't see a lot of changes in it. All right, but what I want to pay attention to is the inside the hulls, because we were on a 410 and that was crazy that only those 2 to 3 foot, well, the beam was just shy of 2 foot more narrow, but it was a world of difference. Okay, this is why you need to take a look at multiple of the same boat. This is a different layout, but look how much bigger this space is when you come down. On the other 380, when you came down, you couldn't even walk broadside. You had to turn sideways to go forward or aft in here. Yet this one, you know, you actually have some space here. Like I can stand.
Cabin?
It was a 4 cabin.
That's the difference. The head was in front of you there.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly right. So that head was on this side here, but it would come over. I'm saying I'll probably put my foot where that wall would be. So you're looking right here. So when you'd come through here, you can't see what I'm doing, but you would have to come through sideways to walk through it. And I was like, I didn't like that feel at all. The cabins, you know, I think this looks pretty similar, but no, that's exactly it. So this bulkhead may have been pushed a little bit now because I'm not moving bulkheads in production. But anyway, so this was the head, and they had really small heads, and I remember that. It was just
It's a 380.
tiny.
It's a small boat.
Yeah, yeah. So
38 is
but
the
this
smallest one Lagoon makes.
this is very doable.
Yeah.
Okay, this man, I'm learning a lot on this.
It's a very clean boat.
Yeah.
You know, the difference between this and that Leopard, the Leopard's got a lot more bells and whistles and feels bigger and more open.
Yep.
This one feels much newer.
So this is it. So this is the feel I had when I go to the other ones. So see, like here, I can't. My shoulders. Well, I actually. Okay, I was exaggerating. I can go through here,
Yeah.
but it's very tight. You see my shoulders. I am filling up both sides of it. So you walk through kind of sideways,
Yeah, it's probably a mirror image of this.
and it was. They had. This is it. Okay. You see how this just feels so
Yeah.
small.
And that's why people on this model, for sure, really like the 3 cabin model.
Yeah, for
With an
sure.
Ultra Suite.
Okay.
If you want.
I'm not spending a lot of time on any one specific boat, but I'm really glad that I was on this 380. I think I just mentioned it. We're gonna walk up front, take a look at it. We've already seen one. They're all very similar hulls, but I like the layout on the owner's side, and it's now back on my interest. We had a brief conversation about how this thing's gonna handle in weather, and I get it. You know, that's where that you're gonna regret buying something a little bit shorter. If you can get into that 40 foot or plus range. And he was doing price comparison to what the cost of this one is, and he has a 50 foot Beneteau, and you know, and they're going to perform drastically different in the weather.
But the Beneteau is 10 years old.
Yes, yeah. So, but you know, but just the weather performance of it is going to be a big difference. So that, you know, just understand that yes, it's catamaran a little bit stable, but it's going to bump around. You're only being 38
So-
foot.
The word stable,
Well.
catamaran's flatter.
Uh-huh.
The heavier, longer monohull is much, much stabler. It's going to be stable in a heeled position. Once it gets there, it loves that position, and it's stable all day long. With the heavier keel, longer hull, that's stability. This is flat. But when you're into the waves, one hull's on one wave, one hull's on the other. This is not stable at all.
You know.
Okay, but we will always own catamarans. I love the way they feel. I love the way they sail. And at the dock and anchor, you can't even close to beat it.
No, for sure.
So everything's a trade-off.
Yeah, you're fine.
You have to excuse the noise in this video. There were some landscapers right behind the boat.
So we're taking a look at a Gemini. What's our year?
This is 2004.
So talk to me about the engine.
Okay, so Westerbeeks are just really easy to service. I have one. basic. Again.
All right, so this is our first look on the inside of a Gemini. Got some fans trying to dry it out. Look here. Yeah, I kind of like this, how it's laid out. Got some steps over here you can climb in and out of the bed. Got some storage up front. I've heard a few people argue the advantages and disadvantages of down here. Like, you're not part of the social environment, but like your headshot is. You really are. But then, you know, anytime any waves or whatever, you're just leaning here. You don't have to worry about any support. So I've heard people argue it both ways.
Well, galley down on like a privileged catamaran, you are in a different room than the people entertaining.
Yeah.
In the Gemini, you're in the same room.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, this is the part that we weren't sure about, because we were looking, how could we create a workstation? So we'd have to have like a bench. Maybe you could make a support that folds down, and then you could put computer monitors or a keyboard here, even like a fold down keyboard.
But when I've worked on the boat, I've worked from here.
Yeah, that's what you might.
I've had 2 monitors set up right here before, working away at anchor. So down in Galveston, we spent the weekend down there, and I had work to do.
Yeah. Well, going off what we just talked about on that 380, where it talked to me, more than I expected to. This one, 0 interest.
Yeah, they're small.
And it's not even this.
Economy apartment.
That's it, right? Yeah. That's exactly what it reminds me of. I'm back in college in an efficiency apartment.
Yeah. The nice thing about this boat is we beach it. I drop the anchor in dry sand. Other boats don't do, but it's not a great livable.
Yeah, I think that makes that validates my point. I don't see this as a livable boat. I see it as a great little boat. If I just have a boat that I take out on the weekends, this is it. But yeah, just that my life is on this one. Yeah.
Now,
sorry, I got all these lawn mowers here, so I don't know how much you're going to hear. I have the mic on, but all right, we're gonna get. It's hotter than hell in here. All right, we are now looking at a Beneteau 373. Okay, thank you for that. I get them all confused. There's some 3s and 7s and 4s, and so
see how it looks tall for inside?
It does. The freeboard's high on this thing.
They went for big space inside.
Yeah. We're gonna see what that looks like when we get on here. It's fairly looking clean. They've been cleaning. You can see their splies. That's always a good sign that they knew that we were coming out. Look, it was what do they call it? Titled or named out of Corpus Christi, so we can take it back home. Milky Way.
Home port.
Yeah, home port. There you go.
Usually a Coast Guard document.
Yeah.
Pick a home port. But you can pick a home port
Anywhere. Yeah, that's crazy.
Colorado.
Yeah, I was just looking at one earlier. It was Bandera, Texas. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, we got a bunch of crazing back here, but yeah, again, it's an older boat. I'm trying to just show it. But I don't like it when you see a lot of it in one area concentrated like that. The wheels tilted so you can kind of navigate around here on this. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and go down. I gotta see, it looks large.
Cool wheel turns this way.
Yeah.
It's one of the few models that does that.
Yeah. Is that problematic to, that hinge could create a problem with your steering?
You just pull the plug, it spins, locks
Yeah.
in. You can actually steer it from this position.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
From here, but
That's funny.
confusing.
Yes, it would be. Okay, got some damage here. Now he had showed me on see this where I'm kicking. This is a little bit higher than some of the other ones. I even made a comment like, oh, they should have lowered that, but that just is the kind of the seat. Oh, that's even soft. That step is.
That little flip panel. So here,
Yeah.
not offshore. Here,
Yep.
offshore.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Gives you that rating.
Yep. And that makes sense. So now, because this is, most of the time, this is going to be the more comfortable. Be careful, that is soft. I could feel it give way a little bit. Wow, this is a clean boat.
Yeah, again, check the head out. That sells the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. So, has an AC running, but boy, it certainly don't feel like it. It's warm down here.
Yeah, he said it needs charging, but it might
Okay.
need more than that.
Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. What do we got here? What are we locked? There we go. I'm trying to see what's holding me back. Got a hanging locker. I'm gonna just I know we're kind of trying to run through these quick, but I want to take a look at those keel boats. Just
No, we're not that there. I was just trying to prioritize your time.
yeah.
So yeah, 92,900 is low for these.
Okay.
But this boat has been on the market for a while. I think you might be able to get it for, quite a bit less than that.
Say all that again. I'm sorry. I was thinking to
Boat's
myself.
like 92,000.
Okay.
It's been on the market for a long time.
Okay.
It was actually listed with another broker before it was listed with this broker.
Okay.
So it, I sold one, the one that's in Port Aransas now.
Said that in his experience, the head here is what sells this boat for a lot of buyers, and yeah, it's nice and roomy in here.
Yeah.
It's still kind of got the pull-out handle. It'd be neat to kind of convert that where well, actually it does have it. You could actually just mount it there, and you could take a traditional shower, which is like a shower curtain and everything.
Yeah, it's a
and
big area.
Yeah, and it feels you a little bit more like home than being on a boat, because the shower and experience on the showering and using the bathroom on a boat is a completely different experience from any other home.
It's a big
This,
boat back
yeah. So you would come in, yeah. Not bad.
there. It's a fun little boat.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting, like
Here's
just some little bitty things.
behind you here. It's gonna need a new piston.
Okay,
It's
well,
broke, so it's loose down there. See?
yeah. I mean, the motor looks like it's in good shape. From
Yeah.
what I can see, I mean, looking down at the bilge, it ain't been.
Surface rust on the
Yeah.
motor mounts, but they're not bad.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get in there. There we go. So I can't see it now, but I will later. Yeah, you can see that's what he was talking about, the motor mounts there. I'll take a look at that footage later. Not horrible. Just
Yeah.
it's not a new boat, so
None of it looks scary though. It's
no.
pretty good.
Okay. All right, our tour is over. I've come back to the 393 to take another look, just to get a general idea. I've started forgetting some of the first boats we looked at. It seems like this boat's been on the market for a bit, and the owners might be motivated to sell it. But it wasn't on my list, so I don't know a lot about it. It's a fairly clean boat.
Thanks for watching till the end. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Your engagement really helps the algorithm show my videos to a broader audience. Stay tuned next week when I set out to find one of my favorite YouTube sailing creators and leave him a blue collar sailing hat and some decals.